Welcome back to LA Noire. In the previous episode, we solved the case of the missing consulate car, and today we've got a brand new case to solve. But before that, we're going to learn a bit more about our character's past.
You have any plans for Weekend Liberty, Jack?
My sisters have been working in Los Angeles in a bomber factory. They're coming down to visit. I'm meeting them at the station at 6.
Good for you, Jack. Are they cute?
They're my sisters, Hank.
Attention! Final inspection before Liberty. Good job, Kelso.
Are we going somewhere, gentlemen? Full inspection. It had better be exceptional if any of you want liberty this weekend. Kelso, this carbine. The bore is dirty.
No, it isn't.
Are you arguing with me, Kelso?
Do what you need to do, Sergeant. You know the bore is immaculate.
Weekend Liberty canceled. 2-day field drill. Clean this rifle.
No.
Do you know the penalty for insubordination, Kelso? Jack, don't do it.
Forget him, Hank. He doesn't have what it takes.
Are you two finished? Are you going to clean this rifle?
No, Sergeant. Cole is right. I'm going to stop playing games and join a rifle company and fight the real enemy.
All right, gentlemen, I just got this handed to me. A hit-and-run felony at Ray's Café, 208 North Los Angeles. Got a patrolman on site. The coroner's on his way. Get down there, see if you can find any witnesses who can put a make on the car.
We have a new case to solve, and it is involving a hit and run at Ray's Café. So let's head to the car and then head to the crime scene.
Looks like the DA is going to press charges. Anna Rodriguez might do time.
I'll speak to the DA. She suffered enough.
I don't know, Cole. She's an easy make, and the DA likes convictions.
I'll convince him to let it go.
How do you do that?
I'll give him something better.
Detectives, over here.
Cole Phelps, traffic. What have we got?
Vic is a white male named Lester Patterson. Walked out of the bar and into the street. Car hit over there, and he ended up here. Dead on impact by the look of it.
Have you canvassed the area?
The only one with anything useful to contribute is the young lady over there. She lives above the bar. Name is Shannon Perry. No, it's not a stage name. 24 years old, she left Kansas to follow the yellow brick road.
Is that so?
We'll take a formal statement later. Right now, we're going to take a look around. I landed on his face and ended up here. The car must have struck him from behind. Patterson has life insurance. We can notify next of kin. What have you got on the victim?
From all reports, he was intoxicated at the time of the accident. I'll know how intoxicated once I've done the autopsy. Looking him over now, I'd say he died on impact.
What about the chest wound? Isn't that inconsistent?
Very common in auto injuries. Look for a car with a prominent hood ornament. Those things are killers.
Body traveled a good 20 feet. This blood is a long way from the body. Car must have been going like a bat out of hell. So the driver managed to brake before the impact.
She's all yours, Detective.
Miss Perry?
Yes?
I'm Detective Phelps. This is my partner, Detective Bukowski. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I came to the window because I heard people arguing downstairs.
Then what happened?
I saw a car hit that poor man and knock him down the street.
What kind of car was it?
A dark red Lincoln Continental.
Did you see the license plate?
Only the first three letters, I'm afraid. 3C8.
Tell me more about the argument you heard.
Well, there were two voices. A man and a woman, that's all.
Go on.
Then a third person. Another man got involved.
Thank you, Miss Perry. Your information has been very helpful. You can go now.
You really think so? I hope you find that driver and put him away.
You certainly got away with the dames, Phelps.
Give it a rest, Bukowski.
Let's see what the patrons have to say.
I'll take the bartender. You work the rest of the room. I'm Detective Phelps of the LAPD.
How can I help, Detective?
Your name would be a good start.
Dudley Lynch. Hired help. I run the place when the owner ain't around.
Where is the owner?
He stepped out. Somebody had to take Lorna, Mrs. Patterson, home.
What can you tell me about the accident?
Not a lot. It was busy in here, and all I heard was the impact.
So you didn't see what happened?
By the time I got out there, it was all over.
Do you know the victim?
Yeah. Lester Patterson. He's a regular here, or he was.
Not one of your favorite customers?
Lester was special, but not my kind of special.
Was Lester drinking alone?
No. He came here with his wife. She didn't seem too interested in the booze, though.
A witness overheard an argument.
Lester and Lorna. There's nothing like airing your dirty laundry in public, is there?
Why was Lorna Patterson in such a hurry to leave? What is going on here?
Lorna was pretty upset, so Leroy took her home. Lorna and Leroy are close. They've been talking about opening a new bar.
Leroy?
Leroy Sabo, the owner.
How long have Lorna and Leroy been talking about this new bar?
Who knows? I just served the drinks.
Bartenders hear all sorts of things. Are you going to tell me, or do we have to start playing rough?
When Lester was drinking, he treated Lorna like dirt. He gambled away all their money. Lorna pitched Leroy about the bar. I don't know how interested he is.
Is Leroy doing well?
Hell no. The only thing keeping this place afloat are the poker games.
Thanks for your help, Lynch. I'm going to need you to sign a statement with the patrolman.
Sure, no problem.
You get anything out of the regulars?
They weren't giving too much away. They liked watching Lester and Lorna go a few rounds every other day. And Lester was a fan of the love tap.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need to run a partial license plate, 3 Charles 8. Cross-check possible Lincoln owners. Suspect vehicle is a red Lincoln Continental.
Just a moment, Detective. Only one possible make on that license. Registered to a William Shelton, 738 West Temple Street.
Thank you.
Looks like we caught a break on this one.
We now know the name of the owner of the car that we believe was involved in this hit and run, thanks to the partial plate given to us by the witness. So the person we're after is William Shelton. Now we've got his previous address, or his last known address, so we're going to head there next and see if we can apprehend him. Hopefully he's got something to tell us, because otherwise this is a bit of an open and shut case, to be fair. I think we might have this solved really quickly.
Can you drive to this one?
So where you want to go?
That's the son of a bitch right there.
William Shelton?
Yes?
It doesn't look good, Shelton. You packing your bags and making a run for it? You know why we're here.
Yes. The accident.
We've got witnesses who can put this car at the scene, not to mention the physical damage. This is open and shut, Shelton.
That coward thinks he can run from everything.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Lay into his wheel, Archer. Come on.
No wonder he killed someone, driving like this. Don't let that asshole get away.
That's it. Cuff him and we're done.
Show me your hands! How does a vehicular manslaughter rap sound, Shelton?
I hit him. I admit it. I just panicked, but it wasn't my fault.
What do you mean?
The guy jumped right out in front of me. He came out of nowhere. There's nothing I could do about it.
Why didn't you stop?
I've had accidents before.
That's it. We're done here. The DA is gonna love you.
They weren't all my fault. I'm a surveyor. I need my license for my job. There were people around. A woman and a man were standing right next to him. I thought they could get him to a hospital. I'm telling you, it's not my fault.
The guy is dead, Shelton.
You can't be serious.
William Shelton, you're coming downtown. We need to talk about a manslaughter charge.
Leave the coroner and the paperwork. Procedure can wait. We should probably go speak to the wife and let her know what's happening.
Okay. You become all heart at the prospect of paperwork, don't you?
We now have William Shelton in custody, but he's claiming that the victim stepped out in front of him. Something's not quite right. I kind of feel that we're missing something, and I think to find out what we're missing, we need to head back to Ray's Café. I don't quite think we did everything we could there, so let's head back there now. Back at Ray's Café, there's something we're missing here, and I'm not too sure what it is. There's just something, and I can't quite put my finger on it, what it actually is, but the crime scene's kind of disappeared now. It's daytime, the traffic's back, so it's got to be something that we haven't been to, something simple that we're just missing out on here. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but there's definitely something that I'm just thinking that something's not right, and I just can't put my finger on it. Let's have a look back for our notebook and just have a look and see if we can get anything to kind of trigger what we're kind of thinking here. Nothing's really jumping out though. Ray's Cafe also isn't crossed off, which tells me there's still something here to find. But there's still nothing in our notebook that kind of makes me think, it's that. The only thing I can think is we haven't looked down the alleyway. So let's have a look down there.
A knife covered in blood.
Could be a steak knife. This is a hit-and-run case, Phelps. Anyone could have thrown away a kitchen knife.
In any case, we'll want tech services to scrub the alleyway before they bag the knife.
Courtney, come in. Have a seat.
Thanks, Doctor.
How are you finding working at the clinic?
It's, fine.
Are you sure?
Can I be honest with you, Doctor?
I would hope so, Courtney.
I was hoping that the therapy would be more beneficial.
Treatment can, unfortunately, be very long-term.
So many of the patients here are addicts, Doctor.
Many of them have been for years, Courtney. In the past, these people were condemned to sanatoriums. If we can reveal the root of the problem, then we have a chance to help them.
And until then, they stay sedated?
Do I detect a hint of reproach, Courtney?
I was expecting more, Doctor. I'm sorry. I don't mean to criticize.
Part of being a physician, Courtney, is learning to be patient.
How is it possible to keep so many of them on their medications, Doctor? Many of their addictions are illegal.
Oh, many things in life are gray, Courtney. What may on the surface appear to be illegal is actually of benefit to society at large.
We actually found a murder weapon. That wasn't what I was expecting down the alleyway. We found a knife covered in blood. Yeah, wasn't expecting that in the slightest, but we now need to move on.
You drive.
So now we
Go over
have
the
that.
case
We
notes.
know there was foul play involved.
Do we
Let's
know
go
where
and
we're
see the
going?
wife. Let's go and see Lorna Patterson.
Do you believe him?
I believe he didn't mow down the victim on purpose. The rest of it stinks. His boo-hoo story about being a surveyor and not wanting to lose his license.
Well, we'll see how he enjoys surveying the same tiny room for the next 10 years of his life. You make a mistake, you face the consequences. You don't run off and hide like some little girl hoping it'll all go away.
People make bad decisions in the heat of the moment.
Well, I'd like to see him try that one on the judge. If he had time to clock who was at the scene, he had time to make a choice.
Yes? Hello?
Mrs. Patterson.
Is this about my husband?
We're investigating the incident, ma'am.
I see. Come in, won't you?
Can you tell me what happened?
What's to tell? He got hit by a car and now he's dead.
You don't appear to be too upset about the fact.
Lester and I met on a furlough in '44. We got married that weekend. People don't understand it now, but that happened a lot back then.
I see. So you probably did well to stick it out this long.
What's that supposed to mean, mister? I think it's about time you left. I have someone here,
I
and
beg your pardon? You're gonna have to run that one by us again, sister.
It's okay, Lorna. I'm Leroy Sabo.
Well, well. Nice to see you're comforting the grieving widow, Mr. Sabo.
All right, wise guy. Do you have any intelligent questions you would like me to answer?
You can confirm Mrs. Patterson's story.
Lester lost at cards. He was kind of hard to control when he lost his temper. He turned without looking and walked right out in front of the car. It wasn't good.
What's your relationship with Mrs. Patterson, Mr. Sabo?
We're friends. Good friends.
You expect me to believe that?
Look, I was filing for divorce. Mental cruelty. Lester could be a mean son of a bitch.
And Lester knew about that?
No, I hadn't told him.
Well, hasn't this worked out well for the two of you? I feel almost bad for busting in on this little rendezvous.
How did the car come to hit Lester?
He walked straight into the path of an oncoming car.
You expect me to believe that, Lorna? It's all very convenient.
Gambling for Lester was like the needle for a hophead. He was yelling at me. He was yelling at the whole world. I kind of felt sorry for the driver. Poor guy had no chance.
You were arguing in the bar and on the sidewalk?
We were always arguing. So what?
We're gonna need more than that.
Like I said, Lester was a great guy when he was winning. A really sunny, bright guy. Trouble was, he hardly ever won. And when he lost, he was an evil son of a bitch.
The bartender said that you and Leroy were planning to go into business together. Can you explain how you'll get the money to do that?
I have a little money saved away.
Sabo has no money. This place can't be worth much. Where is the money coming from?
My father left me this house and some money. Lester took out a second mortgage. I held on to the money and kept my mouth shut. And that's all I'm going to say on the subject.
We're leaving, Lorna, but this doesn't add up. We'll be keeping an eye on you.
Lester could be a heel, but that's a lousy way for anyone to go out.
Optimistic call. Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Any messages?
Just one detective from the coroner. Message reads, Phelps, see me at Central Morgue immediately. Results of the Patterson autopsy.
Thanks, ma'am.
The coroner wants to see us at the morgue as soon as possible, so we're going to head there now. We haven't quite got this figured out just yet, but hopefully the coroner can spread a bit more light on what we're thinking.
I survived the war for this? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, fuck you, asshole! Want to grab me 2 with ketchup and a root beer? Hey, don't mind me.
We can put the driver in front of a judge in less than a week.
You'd be making a big mistake.
Run that by me again?
The victim was dead before the car hit him. 2 puncture wounds to the right side of the thorax. Second puncture reached his heart.
You're kidding me.
Been doing this job 23 years, son. No one's ever laughed at one of my jokes.
He was stabbed to death?
Long, sharp knife. Length of a bayonet.
We found a knife in the alleyway.
Where is it now? Was it bagged?
By Patrolman Kaplan.
Perfect. I'll get you a definite match.
Jesus, we got him. Murder 1. We were right there and they tried to stare us down. Now they'll both get the gas chamber. We have the knife, we have the coroner's report, and I bet we could roll Sabo as a witness. Let's bring her in.
The coroner has confirmed our suspicions. Lorna Patterson is definitely involved here. The knife is hers, or will be hers, I believe. So we're going to head now back to the residence of Lorna Patterson and apprehend her.
We've spoken to the coroner, Mrs. Patterson. He confirmed your husband's cause of death. We'd like you to come downtown and answer some questions.
It wasn't me. It was Leroy's idea. Leroy stabbed him. I had nothing to do with it.
Where is Leroy now?
He's in the bedroom.
You're very good, Lorna.
Put the gun down, Leroy. If you do something stupid now, you don't stand a chance in front of the grand jury.
Nice of you to give me up, sweetheart. All that whispering in my ear, telling me how we had to get rid of him, how good it could be, all the money we could claim, all that planning, how to get him into the street, how to make it look like an accident.
For God's sake,
you had
Leroy,
all
shut
the
up!
bases covered, baby.
I had nothing to do
You
with it.
think I'm gonna fry for you,
He's
Lorna?
a crazy man. Shoot him. Shoot him, for God's sake!
It's too late, Sabo. Sabo, stop or I will shoot!
Come on, Flatfoot, let's negotiate.
How long do you think you can hold out? Put your weapons down and your...
Help me!
You look spooked, Phelps. I thought you'd been under fire before.
It never gets any easier, Bukowski.
So, I give you a hit and run. You bring me back fraud, conspiracy, and first-degree murder. This is how a good detective operates, Phelps. You take nothing at face value. You keep digging and asking questions until you get to the truth. You got some sharp elbows on you, detective. I like that. Keep up the good work.
And that is case closed. We found out what happened to the hit and run victim and who was really lying to us. It does say if we visited Ray's again, we would have learned what Leroy would have done to avoid jail. So that would have helped us a little bit. But I think we figured out the majority of it anyway. The murder weapon was a bit of a surprise, but we knew we was missing something. So it all worked out in the end. A massive thank you to you guys for watching this episode of LA Noire. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. And we'll be back next time as a brand new case hits our desk.